Goed.
Recording, recording now.
Okay.
So, first of all, Manu, person, were you born between 1981 and 1996 or not?
Sorry, my phone is
Mhm.
ringing. I'm gonna turn off my phone and I'll listen to your question again.
Okay. Are you good?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, were you born between 1981 and 1996?
Yeah.
Good. And are you interested in having a job or even a career in consulting?
I am.
And what attracts you in that prospect?
Um, well, nowadays I think that being a consultant is a very broad term. So you can be a consultant in all kinds of different areas and sectors. And I think that's the thing I like most about it, that being a consultant, you can still go over different sectors, different organizations. You can peek into different cultures, organizational cultures, different structures. And as a person, I like to see different environments. And I'm really passionate about how people can differ and still um, are able to work together. And as I think that for me, like consultancy would be a way to still be in touch with many different people in many different environments. Um, and so just have a peek in each of it.
Okay. And what would you take in consideration when looking for a job in consulting?
Um, the organizational culture for sure. So the people that are working there, the values of the organization. I would say also how many people there are working there. That's something I'm currently struggling with. Do I want to join one of the big four or a smaller consultancy firm? So that those are things I'm looking at while looking for a job in consultancy.
Okay, when you talk about the corporate culture and you talk about the people there, can you be a bit more specific?
Um, you mean how I perceive that? What I would say is
What are the, I assume that when you talk about the corporate culture and the people that are working there, you are going to be looking for certain characteristics. Is
um
that it?
yeah, so I would say, so one that I already kind of mentioned is the how big it is, so how
Mhm.
many employees they have. But I would also say that is something that um, is also in relation with hierarchical ness of the organization. So I would be less comfortable in an organization in which you have a structure that is very defined and not communicating with one another. So I'll say I'll look for an organization that is more flat. And overall, until now, I've seen that most smaller consultancy firms are have also a flatter structure. So everyone is more equal in a way. Um,
And out of the characteristics that you mentioned,
mhm.
which one is you consider most important for you?
Out of the characteristics within the culture.
Or the culture, you also talked about the firm size.
Uh,
What is most important for you?
I would say most important is the culture, but that's still pretty broad.
Yeah.
Um, so then I would downsize it to, but I think that's representative for the culture, but the people that work there. So the team, the way they approach one another.
So the way they relate to one another would be your main criteria.
Yeah.
Okay. And which one would you consider most flexible in? As in, which one would you be more willing to let go when you make a decision?
Well, I wouldn't really care on the specialization of the consultancy firm. So you see that some consultants specialize in a certain sector or expertise. That's something I'm not selecting on.
Okay. And this will touch upon a bit of what you've already said, but still, what do you expect out of your coworkers?
Well, equal treatments and a feedback culture. That's something I'm really pro of. Openness and exchange. So I would say mostly team workers.
Okay.
Communicative skills. Yeah, the skills that fit into team workers.
Okay. And what about the superiors in your workplace? What do you expect out of them?
Well, that's a hot topic, I guess, but good leadership, and then for me that would be someone that can steer a group in which everyone is voiced. So that would be something I would be looking at with my supervisors.
Okay. And what about the company you're going to belong to? Do you have any expectations regarding the company?
You mean then the company? What do you mean with the company?
The company, as in, sometimes people look for a certain image, or maybe, there's some people that value, for example, how involved the company is within the community or projects, or in a more of a larger scale.
That's a good one. That's something I guess I've never really thought of. But since as a person I do not really care about status, that's not something I would really look at. So
Okay.
But I think the amount of involvement in projects at the client. So as I said, I like consultancy because I think I can via this way speak into different organizations, but that involves projects at the organization, the client organization, and on the spot there.
Yeah. So you would expect the company to offer you the possibility of having a more practical approach on the customer. Am I correct?
Yeah.
And what are you willing to offer in return for all of this? What do you think you bring to the table?
I am, I think, a good team worker. I also think that I'm an adaptive person, which means like when I'm going into what I said, like different environments, different people, I think I'm someone that fits into different environments and is able to adapt quickly and also see connections pretty quickly. I'm pretty analytic. So being just academically educated, I guess analytical skills are also something that most university students possess.
Okay.
So do I.
And if I presented you two very similar job offers, what would make you choose one over the other?
I guess I would, if there was a possibility to then go for coffee or experience the place, I would go for that, and from there go with my gut feeling. But that's then again the approach of people upon me. So that's I find, for example, job offers pretty tricky because you don't really get an experience or real image of the company to me until you really walk around there and you speak to people that work there. So if you would show me different job offers, I would first try to get in face-to-face contact with the companies in order to make a decision.
And if you got the chance to go and look and feel the company, what would make you go for one over the other?
Yeah, the people skills, so how they approach me, how the coffee went, what kind of, but also what kind of projects they do. So the way they handle their clients, as I said, are they going on location or not?
Okay. So I gotta ask this. So things as, for example, salary or career development prospects or personal development prospects or fringe benefits wouldn't be something that would weight into your decision?
In my experience so far, they are pretty similar until now.
Okay.
So that's something that I weighed less than the organization itself. So I'd go for maybe for my mental comfort over my material comfort.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good quote, isn't it?
That's a good one. That's to be. This is not something I'm gonna describe, but to be very honest, I was just expecting you to like kind of have forgotten it. But it's good that you do keep that in mind, but you have a reason to not give as much importance to it. It's interesting. Also, and lastly, to be honest, what would make you quit your job in consulting? Or better put, what would make you leave the job that you had in a consulting company, first of all?
If I'm very honest, and based on this conversation, I would say bad relations in the company. So
That would what?
So, for example, a very unsupportive supervisor or a very competitive atmosphere within your team, which results in not helping one another, but trying to outdo one another. That would be the first reason I think I would leave
the company. Okay. And what about quitting consulting altogether?
Difficult one. Maybe if I'm done peaking in all those environments, so at some point you might have seen a lot and you feel like you want to go in depth, because that would be a downside of the speaking I'm talking about. It's that at some point that might be shallow. Like, I don't really know because I haven't been a consultant yet, but you are in short periods, relatively short periods, in very different places, which to me appears more shallow than working for several years in one company. And maybe also the lack of impact because of it. So you do a project and you come up with solutions, or you have some really good conversational workshops, but after you leave, it's up to them to do it, which in some way I'm like inspires me, but also I could get frustrated from the fact that it doesn't have as much impact as I would like it to be.
Okay. You use the term that I'm not familiar with, conversational workshops. What is this?
No, just I just said workshops. I'm not sure.
Oh,
Not
okay.
conversational. No,
Okay.
I don't know what was
Okay.
the word before, but
Okay. Okay, Manu. Honestly, that's all from my end. I don't know if you have any particular insights or opinions that you'd like to share with me regarding, your expectations towards the consulting work market, or some other things that maybe I didn't mention here, but you still think that might be important for me?
um, uh, uh, mm, let me think. No, not really. It was good that you mentioned salary and stuff,
Hmm.
because I was not talking about it, I could also.
Have forgotten it. Yeah.
Yeah, but and then also you realize why you do not want that per se.
Hmm.
Um, but it's good, I think, to know that as a person myself, I'm just very people oriented. So
Yeah.
because of it, you see that my choices are also people oriented, and so it in consultancy. So
I
that
mean, yeah,
would be an insight of myself. But yeah, no.
good.
I'm interested because it's like it's been very short, so I don't know if you've had enough or
No, I
if
mean, you did. I feel like you did answer my questions,
okay.
and whatever questions I had, I cleared them up with you. So, I guess that's it. I seem like maybe because you've been looking for a job now or an internship, maybe you
Mm-hmm.
are more aware of what you want and why you want it more than anything, you know?
Yeah,
And if it is as simple as that for you, it's like, okay, what really matters to me is people, how they cooperate, how the teamwork goes, how my boss treats me, or etc.
mm-hmm.
Make it up.
Yeah.
So
So did this help you also reflect on your own? I don't know if you want to record this anymore. Just
you
it's
can
just
I can
chat.
stop, don't worry.